Educators, parents, and voters, thank you for coming out tonight to share concerns about our schools and the future of education. I stand here to address agendas our politicians have touted as the best new ways to improve education.
It's a lie.
Namely, the loss of teacher tenure and the plan to replace it. To understand this loss, know that tenure is not a job guarantee.
That's right.
North Carolina's rigorous teacher evaluation system makes identifying and firing teachers easier now than ever before. What tenure provides is a due process system that protects teachers from being replaced by arbitrary reasons such as nepotism. Yes, under the newly legislated yearly contractual system, an effective teacher could lose a job simply because someone in a position of authority promised a job to a friend or a relative. I have too often heard people express the belief that public education should be run like a business. Now, other than the need to be fiscally sound, schools and businesses have different agendas and therefore cannot be run alike. The primary goal in corporate America is to make a profit. The number one goal of education is to develop the skills of children to one day become the next great entrepreneur, engineer, artist, or other great mind that will help shape the future of our nation. The goal of public education is not and should not be motivated by profit.
Amen.
That's right.
Public education cannot be successful without community support, which must include financial support. Now, currently, North Carolina ranks nationally at the bottom of what states pay to educate their students. Fortunately, the passion of educators and past policies that include class size reduction and reasonable per-pupil spending has proven to be successful. Coinciding with increased standards, since 2006, North Carolina's graduation rates have steadily increased from 68% to 82.5%.
All right.
That's good. That's progress.
So let me restate. Today's graduates reap the benefits of policies put in place 10 years earlier. Therefore, why impose changes that are causing many top-performing teachers to leave a profession they still love? What motivated our state legislatures to create a tuition tax credit program that allows corporations to allocate up to $40 million of state tax dollars to their choice of private and charter schools?
Okay.
Consider how $40 million in tax revenue would have prevented the current shortfall in public education. Recently, legislated policies sabotaging public education today include larger class sizes, the loss of teacher assistants, lower per-pupil spending, lower teacher pay, high-stake testing, and merit-based pay. The ramifications of these easily discredited policies will not be fully realized for another 10 years, when our current elementary students begin to graduate. As the noise to privatize education grows, parents, you must do your homework. Who believes that private corporations are anxiously taking over public education for charitable reasons? Corporations, they have figured out how to line their pockets with huge profits at public educators' expenses. Here is a simple internet search to try. Do charter schools make profits? That search reveals disturbing revelations. Savvy investors are teaming with legislatures who arrange government subsidies to open for-profit charter schools. How ironic is it for those who rail against funding for public education to be the very ones receiving government handouts to open their for-profit schools?
That's right.
Investment portfolios that include for-profit charter schools are growing in popularity, while at the same time there are an increased number of voices vilifying our public school educators. The timing of these two things is not coincidental. If not protected, public schools could be turned into last-ditch resources for those who cannot afford an alternative. We are here tonight because we love our state and our children too much to allow this ominous vision to become a reality. The most important issue to consider is how well our children are being educated, which is why policies designed to undermine public education need to be so carefully scrutinized. Policies like increased testing mandates that are frustrating students, parents, and teachers alike. Another questionable policy is the merit pay idea our governor is proposing. Now, merit pay is designed to financially reward the top-performing 25% of educators. And on the surface, this idea might sound good. Rewarding the top performers in business creates competitive workers that improve productivity.
Stab in the back.
But by contrast, teachers are collaborative, not competitive.
That's right.
Top educators openly share their best strategies to ensure the success of all students.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
and some of us joke that teachers make the best thieves because when we see a best practice, we steal it and we make it our own. Now, imagine what will happen when teachers are made to compete for bonuses to supplement their low pay. Will teachers still want to share their best ideas? No. Will veteran teachers continue the tradition of sharing resources with new teachers? No. And sadly, our students will suffer the consequences when teachers stop sharing their best ideas. If you are wondering what you can do to help, contact your state representatives. Legislatures have ignored the plea of teachers. Parents, now is the time to voice your growing concerns. Insist they listen. These are your children, your grandchildren. They are the children in your neighborhood. Our obligation is to protect their future. As a teacher, I am tired of feeling under attack. I don't mind being held accountable, but when some of my students are homeless, hungry, neglected, or abused, I want my legislatures to acknowledge the services I provide that cannot be measured by a test.
Or cared for by a computer.
For every hour I am with your child, I have spent countless hours preparing how to best meet his or her needs. I identify each child's unique abilities to individualize learning and maximize student growth. I provide a safe and loving environment where learning is promoted. I am a teacher. We are teachers. Teaching is not what we do, it is who we are. And tonight, we ask you to remember a teacher who made a difference in your life or in the life of a child you know. We ask you to speak out on behalf of public educators. Stand with us in saying, forward together, not one step back. Woo!
Yeah.